of CCM to help move it forward.
Delegates at this meeting, as customary, will take a day outside the confines of this hall to visit randomly selected schools within the region. The Education Minister disclosed the goal of that activity is to gather for themselves first-hand information on the state of affairs of schools in relation to policy implementation.
In fact, the director, the staff, and no member of CCM will know where we are going to until the morning.
Okay, in fact, that reminds me, I was coming to that question. So, I mean, what's the goal of that activity?
The goal is to allow us to go and see things as they are. We don't want people to know that we are coming in advance and window dress. Okay, exactly. So we go to the schools, because if we don't see what is really happening on the ground, there's no way we'll be able to help address the problems. So it's only one person that knows where we are going to. The regional director wouldn't know. The staff of the region wouldn't know. Even myself as minister, I wouldn't know until the morning when we are giving the schools we are going to visit and the people that are going there. That's when we know where we are going to.
Mrs. Claudiana Cole hosted the meeting.
We learn quite a lot from CCM. Every CCM one attends, there is a new thing that you learn. First of all, we learn a lot from the presentations that are made. How update is progressing, how implementation is progressing, because updates on all the activities that are taking place. And from what we see during school visits, we learn a lot as well to be able to make changes to those things that are not going too well.
So the World Food Program is a stakeholder of the CCM, and we feel so proud to be part of the CCM activities. And WFP, or the World Food Program, is also the facilitator of the local education group that is supporting the Ministry of Education in all education-related activities. In the case specific of the World Food Program, so we are providing school meals, in more than 500 schools all over the.
This activity of the ministry has one broad objective: working towards the realization of both standard and quality education for all. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The Ministry of the Interior has issued a press release banning the use of vehicles with tinted glasses except for a certain group of officials. To shed more light on the latest directives, police spokesperson, Cadet ASP David Kujabi, sat down with our farmer Fofana in this interview.
This release is an executive directive banning the use of tinted glass vehicles except by a select few, which we will mention here.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us, who and who?
Those who are qualified to drive tinted glass vehicles are the Speaker of the National Assembly, Chief Justice, Secretary General, Cabinet Ministers, Secretary to Cabinet, Deputy Secretary to Cabinet, Permanent Secretaries, Solicitor General and Legal Secretary, Chief Justice, Judges, Ombudsman, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Ambassadors, Regional Governors and Mayors, all service chiefs and their deputies mentioned hereunder. Okay. Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, Director General National Intelligence Agency, Director General Gambia Immigration Department, Director General National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Commander Gambia National Army, Commander Gambia Armed Forces, Commander Gambia National Guards, Commander Gambia Navy.
Okay.
Yes, these are the only people who are allowed to drive tinted glass vehicles.
Okay.
Yes, and we also want to emphasize here that even these that have been selected to drive tinted glass vehicles must get a clearance from the Ministry of Interior.
Okay.
Yes, they are supposed to get a certificate of clearance from the Ministry of Interior, and this includes only their official vehicles. Okay. It does not include their utility vehicles at all.
Okay.
Yes, and service personnel are advised to stop any vehicle that does not have this clearance.
Okay.
Yes.
That reminds me, apparently right now we have in the traffic or in town a lot of vehicles across the board, public servants and other individuals. What happened to them now? What will happen to them?
Well, they will have to remove the tinted glasses in their vehicles, otherwise they can't drive them at all. Yes.
Okay. Well, previously, if I can remember vividly, well, this is not the first time a directive of this nature
Yes. Indeed, it is not the first time, but this time around, we are going to implement it to the fullest.
Okay.
That's why if you would have noticed on Monday, there was this massive operation, and this is just going to bolster the fact that this thing is going to be put in place. So let all be warned that they should take this seriously. All those who had hitherto been given clearances to drive tinted glass vehicles, let them know that the clearance they were given is now considered null and void.
Invalid?
Yes, completely invalid.
When is this coming into force?
By Monday, latest.
Monday?
Monday. As a matter of fact, we have started, but then Monday, we are going to implement it to the fullest.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, unless you have something else to say to the drivers and the public.
All I would do is those who have tinted glass vehicles, I urge them to comply with these directives, because if they do, they won't have their time wasted, they won't have their cars impounded. All they need to do is just to comply, and then we'll have our smooth traffic, just as usual.
Police Public Relations Officer David Kujabi there on the new directive spelling out those qualified to drive tinted glass vehicles. The next Operation Clean the Nation is slated for Saturday, 27th April 2013 throughout the country. A news release from the National Environment Agency states that the initiative has had very positive impacts on the health status of the general citizenry, and adds that many studies have confirmed that the main reason for the significant drop in malaria cases, as much as 40% in some places, can be mainly attributed to this initiative. The exercise dubbed Operation Clean the Nation, the dispatch adds, targets the root causes of vector-borne diseases by eliminating the breeding grounds of the insects that spread such diseases. The initiative, the dispatch argues, should therefore be supported wholeheartedly by all those residing in the Gambia, because the benefits are reaped by one and all. NEA reminds governors, Sefolu, Alkalulu and ward councillors and government institutions of the strong presidential directives requiring all of them to organize and fully participate in the next national cleanup exercise within their respective area of jurisdiction throughout the country. The release ends. We'll now go for our first break. The news continues right after.
Traveling up country need not be a headache anymore. Worrying about accommodation in Basse is now a thing of the past. After careful observation and surveying the environment, Basse Guest Inn have come up with the solutions to make your stays in Basse a sheer pleasure. We are your dream guest house. 30 rooms, beautifully built and in line with 5-star vision. Our rooms are fully furnished up to standard, fully AC and fans to complement, a fridge in each room, satellite TV and wireless internet at your disposal, large parking spaces inside the compound. All these at surprisingly Samaritan prices. The Basse Guest Inn have brought the much-awaited 5-star experience to your door. Basse Guest Inn, the best place to stay in Basse.
Basse Guest Inn, financed by Arab Gambia Islamic Bank.
Welcome back. Rescue workers at the collapsed garment factory in Bangladesh have found 50 survivors, with officials hoping to rescue them by Saturday morning. They have been trapped for more than 48 hours after the building caved in Wednesday. Over 300 people are said to have died in the disaster. As we hear in this DWTV report, demonstrators have taken to the streets to demand safer working conditions in factories across the Bangladesh.
Fury and anguish in Dhaka. Wednesday's factory collapse has unleashed protests against lax safety standards in Bangladesh's main industry. Police prevent demonstrators from reaching the factory. Protesters are demanding that the owners of the building be brought to justice, but they're reported to have gone into hiding. Amid the anger, relatives cling to hope. This man is waiting for news of his wife. And this woman wants to join the search for her missing husband. For a third straight day, firefighters combed the rubble for survivors. Many emergency workers used their bare hands to try and pull people from the ruins.